So for me, the piece is really very much about relationships, and the motivation or inspiration for it came from this one moment that I shared with another person, and it was a memory that really stuck with me. And the process was one of going back and exploring that through reenacting someone else's actions. So initially it was actually a performance, something that I did each day for a couple of weeks, lying down on the ground, looking up at the sky, and thinking about Helen Johnson. And so then from there it was a process of translation into a form that I could share with other people that would also provide, hopefully, an embodied and sensorial experience. Hopefully, it also speaks to relationships in general and how these interpersonal relationships, interactions, experiences are informed and influenced by larger societal values and institutions and ideologies. Specifically, I was really thinking a lot about colonialism and the effects of colonialism on the multiple and varied effects it has on different people at different times, and how it informs power within relationships and imbalances of power, and how one might unconsciously work within these ingrained patterns, or on the other hand, how one might challenge these patterns that are in our relationship. It is playing with interiority versus exteriority, indoors, outdoors, internal experiences of relationships, of interpersonal experiences, as well as these how that's informed by larger systemic things around us. I think there was a danger in bringing the grass inside, of having that be the take-home aspect of the piece, that a lot of people seem to really delight in that experience of finding, and perhaps surprise of finding grass indoors. And so I think there was a risk in having that be the main thing that people took away with them. However, hopefully, if one were to sit with the piece and listen to the narrative and read the information provided, like all these pieces fit together to speak to different themes and issues.
One day, we were leaving the house, and at the bottom of the ramp, he lay down on the ground, looked up at the sky, and started talking about his mom, Helen Johnson. That's what he calls her, my mom, Helen Johnson. It's not unusual for Jim to talk about his mom. He talks about her frequently and often in relationship to the sky. Helen Johnson is in the sky and or the sun, along with the Virgin Mary, and together they are responsible for the movement of the sun and the clouds, and whether it's overcast or bright. There's an image of Jim's mom that hangs on the wall of his living room. I believe it may be a photocopy. It's a black and white image, or perhaps sepia-toned, of a young woman in a rural landscape. She isn't smiling, and I think there's a man in the background, but no one is sure who he is.